Welcome to Behind the Bar podcast. This episode, as always, is brought to you by Arte Fitness Durham, Sunderland, and of course the Barbell Club, where we take you from complete beginner to photo shoot ready. On today's episode, we have long-time client John. He's been with us from the very beginning when we used to do boot camps on the field, so we're talking 10 years ago. He gives his whole insight from when he was younger to now, of where he was overweight as a kid, and then going through his university years, and then trying to get into the gym, start, stop. And honestly, his photos are now out there. He looks fucking incredible. His story is brilliant, and I hope it inspires others as well. So if you haven't already, click the like button, subscribe to us, and share with your friends. And if you have any questions at all, please drop them in the comments below. Even if you have any questions for the show, we'd be happy to put them on with the coaches as well. So enjoy this one. John. All right. Right then, John. So let's give us your early life, fitness life when you were younger, up until the point of probably when you'd done something.
Yeah. Well, I think the first time I did anything, like secondary school, I think, probably.
Right.
So I think I was quite an active kid, primary school age, always out playing football in the street or on my bike and that.
Not in your street though.
Yeah.
Not on the front street.
No, down the back.
Down the back.
So I was quite a skinny kid in primary school, but then when we went secondary school, it all changed.
Right.
I ended up being a bit of a fat kid.
Why, do you think?
PlayStation.
PlayStation.
I got a PlayStation. It's just, I'd rather stay in the house and play on that than go out.
I suppose PlayStation 1 came out in 96, 95, so
I think I got a Sega Mega Drive when I was in primary school. That was probably the start of it.
This is showing how old you are, John, now.
I think it was getting the PlayStation was probably became a proper hermit when I was in secondary school.
Right.
Started to put on weight then.
Hold on, so you were playing footy outside, so what game were you playing on the PlayStation? Football. Went to a digital version.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And then from there?
Things just started putting on weight. Obviously I was quite paranoid about me shape when I was in secondary school, because
right.
Got fat, but I seemed to carry weight around my chest more, so I
right.
had the man boobs and that. Obviously you get targeted in school a bit, don't you?
Oh, fucking hell. Right, okay.
Especially where you got lost, I think we got rid of the blazers, because you can sort of hide it in a blazer a bit. I think we got
last
jumpers,
year,
didn't we?
Yeah.
End up with jumpers. So
it was in the last year though, wasn't it that?
We had the grey jumpers, but I think we had black jumpers. We only had blazers for the first year, I think.
Oh, I thought we went up to the all the way to the top with the blazers. Oh well. Yeah.
But yeah, just getting I never got bullied for it, but just getting the piss took out of us.
Yeah.
Just off mates and that, just.
Yeah.
I remember walking down the corridor once when I was in year 11 and some year 7 kid shouted something. Did they? So it's I think I started doing stuff in the house, just doing sit-ups and things, press-ups.
Yeah.
Thinking, obviously at the time there's no we had no social media or anything, did we? So
no.
You couldn't just Google how to lose weight then.
We probably at that era of time was the cradles. Mm-hmm. Do you remember the cradle things? What the crunchy things? What you sat in and crunched?
Yeah, I think we got them. Right?
Have you?
Well, I think mum and dad got one.
Yeah.
So I was trying to use one of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think in my mind I thought sit-ups would burn fat off your belly, and press-ups would burn the fat around your chest. So I thought if I did press-ups, I'd turn the boobs into pecs kind of thing. But
of course,
it's you don't know any better. I remember seeing something on the telly where it said you could turn fat into muscle, it was on the BBC. I think obviously there's loads of misinformation about it at times.
Always, really. I mean, sorry.
So I was doing stuff like that in the house, but I think didn't really join the gym or anything until later on.
Right. So when did you? So during that period from then, when did you start the gym? Or
I went to uni, so I was 18 when I joined the gym. I remember like losing a lot of weight before then.
Uh-huh.
So I remember going to doctors for like just a check up, but they did like me height and weight and that.
Yeah.
So like after I finished school, and I was like, I remember the exact weight. I was like 14 stone 3.
Right. At what age was that?
To be 16. So just
Right. Okay.
school.
Yeah.
And he sort of said like maybe it's like at most you should be about 13.5 stone. So he sort of gave us that as a target to get to.
Right.
And I just started like eating less.
Yeah.
Like I didn't do any like more exercise or anything, but I think I was just maybe walking more in general because I'd left school and I was going to sixth form college.
Oh, so would you say you were walking more around that age?
Yeah.
Because generally it goes the other way. When did you pass your test?
When I was 20.
Right.
So
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
like walking to Shiny Road College, I think, quite a bit. I was just getting the bus, but work like
Right. Yeah.
walking to a further away bus stop and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just started eating less. Like I think I packed in with like regular Coke and started drinking like the diet stuff instead. So I wasn't drinking as many calories.
Yeah.
So I remember the exact weight I was getting down to. I remember getting down to like 11 stone.
Right. Okay.
But I couldn't understand why I wasn't lean because I still had like the rolls of fat and that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know anything about like fitness at the time, so
No.
still like fat on my body, still like rolls of fat and like trying to like lose even more weight, but not knowing anything about like exercise. So I just like trying to like eat even less. And I remember getting down to like 10 stone 10.
Fucking hell.
And I still wasn't lean, still couldn't like understand why. And I was like practically starving myself by that point because it was like, you know, when you're getting like jelly legs all the time, so you're not eating enough and stuff.
Right. Okay.
So I was like I think I just gave up because I think I was going off like looking at boxes and like their sort of weights.
Right.
So, like,
Okay. Yeah.
Like, my sort of height.
Right.
And they'd be fighting at like sort of welterweight kind of weight. I think that's like about 147 pounds.
Yeah.
10 and a half. Of course, I didn't know about when they're weighing, they're dehydrating themselves and like a stone and a half heavier by the time they're in the ring and stuff. So
yeah, because you'd never know that, would you?
no, but obviously, like I didn't know back then what I know now about when you're weighing yourself, you're not just weighing your body fat, you're weighing everything. Like,
And probably at that time, you hadn't fully filled out as an adult. Neither really. I mean, yeah, you might have been your height, because like I was fully grown at 18 height-wise, but I wasn't framed. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to assume you'd probably be the same. So when you're like down to that lightweight, you're not carrying as much as a man would, really.
yeah.
So what? I think I'm just going to jump into the Christmas jump a bit. So it was. When was the turning point, or was that the turning point? I know we've spoken about before, but like.
I joined the gym when I went to uni. It was like it was like £10 for a year's membership.
Right. Okay.
It was like a shit gym. They had a few dumbbells.
Yeah.
They had like, it was all like pin loaded machines. They didn't have a barbell. The only barbell type thing they had was like a pin loaded Smith machine.
Yes. Yeah.
So like when you went in, you had to hand over your membership card and they'd give you a pin so you could actually use the machines.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Ah, all right. Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. And I was just like, I would just watch like the other lads that were in better shape and just sort of try and copy them as much as I could. Like,
I can definitely relate to that.
So like, I never got any sort of consistency though. Like I think I got a bit of a social life when I went to uni as well. So I ended up like, I put a lot of weight back on because I started drinking and that as well. And I was very like off and on and start with me training and
yeah.
So maybe do like 6 weeks on and then like a couple of months off. And
Yeah. So you have trained actually longer than what I thought, because I thought when you started on the field with us, like you'd been doing it for a while just before that, but you were training in between that, like all the way through.
It's like start, but like that's when I first started. Like that was the first time I ever like picked up a weight. Was
right
when I was 18. So
from there, what was your training like? What did you start to do then? Or was it just a bit of everything?
Just a bit of everything. There was no like splits or anything. I didn't know anything about like different like splits that bodybuilders would do. Or so I just saw like, I just watched what other people did. See people doing like, I never did like a leg session for probably until I came here.
Was it 3 sets of 10 style?
Yeah.
On every machine? God, I've done that. Yeah.
Dumbbell press.
What? So once you did start though, when did you actually say fully commit? Because when you come to the boot camp on the field in 2012, and that was I think December, 1st of December or November-ish time in 2012, I think it was. Correct us if I'm wrong. What were you doing prior to that? Because you were in pretty good shape when you got to there.
It's just like I was at Freeman's K Gym.
Right.
It was always just like very stop-start, like do like a couple of months on and a couple of months off.
Right.
So my weight was just constantly like up and down because like I'd just like lose a bit then put it back on again because I didn't know about maintenance and all that kind of stuff. Huh. So like probably didn't get any consistency until I started training on the field.
Really?
Yeah.
Because when you come to the field, your triceps were popping. And I was like, fucking hell, what's he doing?
Like just going to the gym and doing like triceps.
All bench. But you did that. That's the thing I remember. Like, because obviously I remember like you like in between school and stuff like that. And I was thinking, fucking hell, you're fairly getting in shape. And then obviously you started on the field. And I thought, fucking, you know what you're doing.
I might have been running a lot.
Right.
Running a lot as well, like around that time.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get on to the next one then. So what? So you've been consistent. So you've been like sort of consistently inconsistent. All the way through. Because obviously I always like to ask what was like the big moment in change, like to do it. Was there a big moment, or has it just always been there?
It's always been like. Well, I've always known I wanted to like get in shape because of like just from being in school, like the teasing and that. But
yeah.
I just didn't know a lot about what I was doing. I remember like when my sister met me brother-in-law. Mm-hmm. Like, I started going to Max Muscle a bit.
Yeah.
Worked in there, so picked up a few things from people in there. But like I never wanted to be like a bodybuilder like them. But some of them are quite helpful. Like they come over and give you a bit of advice and that.
Do you know it is 100% like I mean Max Muscle, wasn't it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And people in those like them gyms will help you. Mm-hmm. As much as they look angry and grumpy because they're fucking on a diet all the time, like they do help. Like I was training at Mixed Gym in Horton, which is like a really it was a really poor version of Max Muscle. And in there, like everyone would help. Mm-hmm. Everyone would help each other, and I'd pick up things as well, like copying people, and fucking put some of the things like I'd copy and I didn't even know what it was doing, to be fair. So I would say between all of that then, say up until you started with us, what was your biggest struggles in keeping that motivation?
I think I always had something that I thought was more important. Like, so I remember when I first started my job, they made us go to college. So whenever I had like coursework to do, I'd just sack off the gym to try and get that done.
Right.
So I never like sort of prioritised the gym as much as I would now.
Yeah. Even though you probably had more time.
Yeah.
Mad. Was you still playing PlayStation?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But you don't now, because you haven't had it. So what's been the drive over all them years then? Like the big drives? Because obviously now, you've really stepped up your game. So what would you say your drive's been, we'll say as of late then?
Just to get in better shape, like just like having like sort of body confidence, I think.
Right.
Just growing up sort of not feeling like confident about how I looked and stuff.
Yeah.
Just want to be like, just look a bit better, like see other people and shit, like nice to look like that.
It is, well, it is, it's mad because people always, as much as people say it's all about health and all the rest of it, want to be healthy, it isn't. You want to fucking look good, you want to feel good, because when you look and feel good, everything else falls into place in a sense, like, because when you, like, I don't know, say for when yourself, like, you have went up and down, and when, obviously, say you've sacked it off for a bit, like, how does that feel? Do you know what I mean? Like, how, you know, it's...
I think maybe it's like the biggest turning point was like, I got lean, like the leanest I'd ever been. I got down to like, I was under, when you were doing like the skin fold.
Yes, yeah.
It's like under 10% body fat.
Yeah.
When we went to Ibiza for your 30th.
Yeah.
Then by the Christmas, I was like the heaviest I'd ever been.
Which was that the one where you ate the block of cheese?
Yeah. When the cheese boards came out for Christmas, and I was just like living off them. So I stopped tracking. I stopped using my fitness pal for 3 months, and then next time I weighed myself, I was like 15:10 or something.
Was that in the studio, that one, or not?
What type?
Because there was I remember being in the studio, and you'd got really lean, but then you come back after Christmas, and fucking like you'd only do 3 chin-ups or something.
Yeah.
Like because of the Christmas weight, what you'd put on. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that or not?
Yeah. So I think it was just the frustration of like getting myself in shape and then just fucking it all off again. Coming back just the heaviest I'd ever been. And the most unfit as well, probably. Like that's probably the turning point where I thought I needed to sort of get into proper habits and just like changing me whole like lifestyle, like having a full lifestyle change and making it like a consistent thing, trying to lose it and maintain it.
Right. Why do you think those old habits have been so strong, like where they pull you back in?
I think it's just like ingrained in you, isn't it? Like when you're a kid, really, like.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, just.
Do you think like the treat to reward system?
Yeah, could be. I think even now, like when I did the shred, I had like a chocolate bar. I made it fit. But now, like when I've come off the shred, it's like I'm still feel like I need a chocolate bar.
Do you?
Because it's like I got used to it.
Yeah.
So I'm still looking for biscuits on a night now.
But that isn't necessarily a bad thing. Something what you enjoy. At the end of the day, your mouth wants pleasure in the best possible way. So it's like okay, like as long as it does fit. But it's probably where like, say how many did you use? I don't know. Like how much? Like, do you want to know when you went off the rails? What would off the rails look like? Like
just a binge, like a massive binge. It was usually on weekends. I just couldn't stop. With like 4,000 calories or something. I know that'd be like normal for like some people, but
yeah. But what was that? What was the food like?
Just like Nutella straight out of the jar and peanut.
Oh, was it?
Stuff like that. Yeah.
That sounds like Sarah. God, I've never been into the Nutella. Like I like a little bit, but just in little bits. Was your mum a feeder?
Not really.
No.
I wasn't like, I was a really picky eater when I was a kid, like.
Right.
Just like fish fingers and chips, like, well, I'd have really.
Was there always like, because in my house there was always crisps, the lot in there. Was there always that there? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And would you say, I don't know, have your tea but then have a bag of crisps or something afterwards?
Yeah. I think I'd always be like limited to one bag of crisps. Like your mum would say you can have one bag.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably be like a secret eater. Like I'd sneak in the kitchen, just like.
You probably because your mum, like with me with my boys, is like you can only have one mind, and then that's like fucking hell, I'm gonna get two because you're a kid.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like if you're always and probably the habit with that is if you're always having that one bag or whatever or chocolate whatever, it's like now every meal after that you think you've got to have it as well. You get it?
Yeah, like you feel like you always need like something sweet after something savoury, like a dessert. You always have dessert.
Because I've still got that habit, but on the night it is a protein bar now, which I just can't get rid of. But I don't want to. I'm happy with it. Like I'm happy with that ingrained. It's like I don't want to eat crisps or chocolate during the day. To be fair.
Well, I got used to like grenade bars, and then I stopped having them. And then like now they just don't taste the same because I've started having like normal chocolate bars again.
Oh, have you? What's your chocolate bar choice?
Crunchies.
Crunchies, is it?
Yeah.
I don't have a chocolate bar type. I like my chocolates at Christmas, like. So, you started with us in 2012. Fucking hell. How was the boot camps on the field then? I was going to say how was Carnage, but it was boot camps on the field at first, and then turned to Carnage a few months later.
How
then? Aye.
Good.
What did you like training outside?
It was cold, but it was warmed up quickly enough.
Yeah. So how? But then I suppose you came to the studio, didn't you? Mm-hmm. You did the Carnage outside. I mean, how was Carnage the program itself?
I suppose I prefer weights like that.
Right. Okay.
To hit training, but I suppose it served its purpose, doesn't it? It's like it gets you used to like lifting weights and things. I suppose like.
I think it gets people ready to lift weights. Mm-hmm. Like it gets people moving again, it gets people sweating. Some people love sweaty feeling. Do you? No.
Yeah,
do you?
Yeah.
I don't.
I did the kettlebell.
Oh, yeah. And the kickboxing, didn't we? Mm-hmm. Fucking hell, I forget about that.
The Krav Maga thing you put on.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't me. That was Jamie. But that was on for a few sessions, wasn't it? He's a personal trainer now, actually. A good one, actually. So barbell then. You started barbell when it was strip and rip in the studio. How's the journey been on that?
I think I've progressed like quite well from it. Like, it's taught us everything I know now. I've learned from like doing barbell and strip and rip. I've got like stronger over the years as well, and it's like I've progressed well, I think. So.
Do you feel as though you're still progressing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 rep maxes aren't as what they were, but I've had had a bit of time off, didn't I? Like,
yeah. And I think the thing is, though, with you, where you've been with us for so long, like, you've seen everything, what we've went through and all the rest of it, where we were probably more focused on 1 reps and more focused on this and focused on that and focused on this. It's like we're not really that focused on the 1 rep max. We're not chasing those big, we're not doing the 3s anymore within the program. So you probably just don't get used to that load in a sense. Yeah. So how was, I want to ask you about lockdowns actually. What was your training like through lockdowns? Because obviously you were always in the gym and all the rest of it. What was your lockdown experience like?
Just cardio.
Cardio?
Just running a lot. We have a few bits in the house, like got a EZ bar and a few kettlebells, and like I was able to do some bits with that. I was trying to like write my own stuff.
Right, okay.
It was just sort of similar to what you would do in Carnage, really.
Yeah.
Just trying to do stuff like that. So I was like sort of setting myself away with like in the garage, just doing like sort of 45-minute sessions just to do something. But obviously I wasn't sort of lifting what I'd be lifting in a gym.
Yeah.
So maybe I was going out for runs and stuff as well, so maybe like the cardio was getting a bit better, but I think my strength will have dropped off quite a bit through lockdown.
Most people did. How did you find the consistency with that?
I think I got into a bit of a habit with it, but it didn't take much to like get out of the habit. Like,
yeah.
I was like sort of doing it on my lunch break from work. I was working from home. I just pop in the garage for like 45 minutes on my lunch break and do something, or I'd get out for a walk or a run, things like that. But
were you like were you trying to get X amount of steps in or something like that?
I don't think I had a step tracker at the time. At the very start,
right.
So
okay.
Yeah, I got one for the Christmas, like the first Christmas of lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I started aiming for like 10,000 steps a day and things like that. For once I had the step tracker.
Did you feel as though you were already getting 10,000 in though?
Probably not. No.
No. Right. Even with the runs.
Maybe it was on the days when I went for a run, but.
Right. What were you using for the runs then?
My phone. I'd do like Map My Run.
Map My Run,
like,
yeah.
Take my phone with us and it would like tell us how far I ran.
And how far?
It's like 5Ks I was doing.
Right, okay. About half an hour, bit less. Yeah. Mint. Shred then. So you just come off the shred now, 12 weeks, 31 pounds down. How was that?
Didn't struggle as much as I thought, really.
Right.
It wasn't too bad.
Okay.
I think I was eating like sort of little and often.
Right.
So having like I was just sticking to the meal plan, just having, I seemed to like quite enjoy all the food I was having.
Yeah.
So I was having like 3 off the meal plan, and we still were getting like where me and Sophie would eat together in a night. Get like the Hello Fresh and Gusto meals in.
All right, yeah,
So
yeah.
get like the low calorie ones on them. So I always picked something that would fit.
Right.
But so like I'd have like I think I'd always have about 500 or 600 calories left for my last meal.
Right.
I think I set my calories a bit lower because I think it said on the meal plan 2,000, so I set mine at about 1,800, knowing I would probably...
Of course you would, yep.
So
like everyone does.
I always go over like by 200 anyway, so I knew if I put 1,800 I'd hit 2,000, so...
Ah, right.
So I was just, I just did that. I was eating like because I like to have that meal on a night with Sophie, just like... I think it's important to just have like a meal together, like... Because where she works...
Oh, yeah.
We're not, like, she's out quite late on a night sometimes, like, just have that bit of time together, like, to eat together.
Yeah.
It's quite important, so we were always, like, cooking together on a night and having those meals. It's quite easy as well, the Gusto and that.
Right, okay.
Rather than doing, like, a meal prep. I was trying to prep some of the meals from the meal plan, but...
Right. But you work from home, so it's probably easier. Well, you work apart from home, so it's probably easier just to have your meals, isn't it? So, was it 2,000 calories then all the way through, do you think?
Around, like, I think I was averaging about 1,900.
About 1,900.
Sometimes I was getting that chocolate bar in at the end as well.
Yeah, exactly. So you've done that. I mean, what was your actual weight? Because I know I can say 31 pounds is just when people... Because we can lose people 40 pounds plus, but they're generally bigger. So what was your starting weight?
I think it was like 192.
Right. Do you know what that is in Stonehenge and Pebbles?
Not off the top of my head.
14.
It's 1310, I think it was.
Yeah, 14's 196. 196 is 14 stone. So what were you, 192? So 1310, yeah. And then what did that get down to, was it?
Well, it was 162 for this photo shoot after the water cut.
So 1310. Is that like 11.8? Yeah, 11.8. Because I think 31 pounds, obviously for the body percentage, is huge. I mean, if I could figure out what the actual percentage of it was, but I can't in my head. But it's huge. Do you know what I mean? And like some people think with 31 pounds, like they see television shows where people lose fucking 100 pounds in whatever. But for that percentage of a body is massive. And to be able to do it on just shy of 2,000 calories is fucking unreal, really, isn't it? If you think of it in that terms.
I think I was, there wasn't really a week where I sort of plateaued. I was constantly losing like a pound or 2 a week. Like, well, I think like having like the smartwatches are a big help as well, where it tracks your calories and stuff. Like you know how much you're burning, like roughly. Like I've seen like people saying they're not like totally accurate, like but I think it must have been quite close for me because I think I was in like when I worked it out from like my fitness pal to what my watch was saying I was burning, like on a weekly average it was like 1,000. What's the work out? I think 1,000.
3,500 pounds.
If your deficit's 1,000 a day, that's like £2 a week. Isn't it?
Yeah,
and you were deficit would have been about 1,000 a day. So to lose that.
Do you know what it is? I actually find them like I was on the same page, by the way. Because people used to use them in the sessions, and could have only burnt like 100 calories, and that's like they're not really that accurate, or they weren't, but now they are much better. And when I did mine the same, I figured it out, and it was like it worked out to exact, which was mad. And I was thinking, well, have I under-tracked or over-tracked or anything? But generally, I'll track pretty bang on, and I'm assuming you will too.
But even if they're not accurate, it's still a constant variable in it if you're using the same watch. More on your watch is more. Even if it's not the exact number, it's like still. Like I was like aiming for like 3,000 calories a day, like to burn off. I was dropping a bit below, it was like 2.9 or 2.8, but
towards the end. Yeah. Was yours calibrated to your weight?
I put my weight in every day. I weigh myself every morning.
Right.
I've just got into the habit of doing that since about March. Like.
Right.
I know, like some people say you shouldn't, but I think it helps me. Like it's helped me to sort of keep on track, even like after the shred.
Right.
So like every time I log it into the Garmin, like the app on my phone.
Yeah.
And then it resets your BMR calories to what you weigh. So it's like the calories on the phone, it says like it's got your BMR, then your active calories, and adds them both together.
Right.
For each day. So every day, like depending on your weight, my BMR will be slightly different.
Yeah.
The BMR calories.
That's good. The thing is, it's good, and like I know people have done it where they haven't put the weight in, it changed. I think Coach Joe did it. He left his, however much he was, and where he dropped like 3 stone, it was still burning from his top weight from there. So what was your average steps then daily for the shred?
I started off at 15. Then towards the end where I was losing weight, I upped it to 17,000 just to make up for like the loss in calories from body weight. So.
Right, okay. Yeah. So how did you manage them then? Because a lot of people, obviously you have a desk job, and I think that's what most people excuses for not getting the steps in. So how have you managed to get your steps in?
Just 2 walks a day. Like I go on my lunch break.
Right.
And another one after work. Or like some days I'd have, obviously like some days it was a run.
Right. What? How long did you get for your lunch?
It's flexi time, so
right.
I'd take like an hour. So
yeah.
Maybe it's like in the office, I'd be like 45 minutes because there's not like a good walking route around there. So it's just like literally doing loops of the housing estate. So
yeah.
Like when I come home, I'd do another walk after, just like another hour walk. So
on the night.
Yeah.
Right. How did you find that hard to do? Because this is only 12 weeks as well. It's not like you're doing this every day, is it? Like prior, we'll say.
I'd rather go for a run when it's by myself because it's like.
Right.
It's just like walking for walking's sake when you're on your own. I just like stick a podcast in and make it a bit easier. Like stick a podcast on or music. On a weekend, so if you go out for a walk, some places. Normally I just try and I found it easier just to go for a run, but
and cut the time in half.
Yeah, but I'd stick like an audio book on or a podcast on and just make it a bit easier.
Sweet. So that was your steps, weight. I think that's it with the shred. I mean, how was the photos?
All
right. The oil.
It was a bit weird.
But it was all part of the process, and obviously your photos do look fucking mint. What's your goals now then?
Just to maintain now.
Right.
For now, yeah.
Maintain. How far out you must have put some back on from the shed though.
Just like I weighed myself this morning. I was 168.
And what were you on the finished it again?
162.
So 6 difference.
Yeah, that's from like the water though, isn't it?
Yeah, fucking hell.
It's like that week I was weighing in like 167 or 165 the whole week, and then it dropped from the water cut.
Yeah.
So I was like putting a couple of pounds from that week, but
that's meant that.
Just try like the goal. I think like maintenance is like a harder goal because there's no like end date. You're not setting like an end date to hit a certain.
Yeah.
Like with the shred, it's like I had that date in my mind, like 24th of September, like.
Yeah.
But maintenance, it's like there's no end to it. You just.
I think it's a mental struggle, maintenance.
Yeah.
I know Luke's. I know it's his worst part, the maintenance bit. But I think for a lot of people, obviously, once they get down to like your level of leanness, what do you do? Because you don't want to go straight into you want to go into a bulk, but like you don't want to go into a bulk and obviously lose all this gains, what you've always wanted.
And I can't stay like how I was for the photo shoot, but I'm just trying to stay like close to it. So if I try to do a shred again, it's not going to be as drastic.
Yeah.
I think like I set myself a limit of like 180.
Right. Okay. Top end. Yeah.
So then if I wanted to do a shred again, it wouldn't be as. I could do it in like a smaller deficit, or I could do 12 weeks in a smaller deficit, or I could do the same deficit in 6 weeks. Maybe.
Yeah, 6 to 8 weeks. Yeah, it's a good place to be. Like I've did pretty much that for this entire year. like in that maintenance level, and always had that top gap, and I would just rein it back in a bit if I like hit that peak.
I was getting into some like bad habits after the photo shoot though, where like, so I'd never seen my abs before in my life.
Right, okay.
I'd had like an idea in my head of how I wanted to look like ever since like back in school. Like,
yeah.
It's like the photo shoot's pretty much it.
Right.
So I think I was getting like worried about losing it straight away. So I was getting in the habit of just like looking in the mirror constantly, like
yeah.
Abs after every meal, like on the abs still there. Like.
But you know, I bet you day, always looking in the mirror, constantly. Yeah, but there's no like. Do you know what it is? You've put the fucking work in. You've put the work in, and like for all your life you've wanted to be in that shape. So it's like, fucking why not? I mean, yes, at current moment it's winter, so you can't just cruise about with your top off. But you're going to get there.
You find all the spots in your house, don't you, where the lighting's good?
Of course you do. Fucking hell, I've done that for years. The bathroom morning lighting coming through back onto the mirror.
Yeah, that's one of mine.
Is it? But it is, and like but you put the work in, and it's like, why not? Do you know what I mean?
Like there's always like scrutiny, no matter what you look like. Obviously, I got the piss took I was in school for being overweight. Like since I've done the shred, I've had people telling us I'm too thin. Like at work, like I've had like, you need to put weight on. You're looking too thin. You're looking gaunt, and like you look ill.
And I mean, we've only just put out the pictures this morning. I mean, this podcast will go out later, but when they say them pictures, I bet they're not gonna think that.
Yeah, like a few people had said like once the pictures had gone up on the Instagram, like
yeah.
realised like because my clothes were baggy, like
yeah.
So they just said you couldn't really tell that was underneath. So
it's mad, isn't it? Because that's like they do. People, whenever somebody else goes on the diet, I'm sure it's this office culture as well, and they start to lose it, and you can see it. And you were already like probably leaner than most of them, without trying to offend any of them. But and then like because they aren't putting in that graft, they want to belittle you again. It's like, I don't think no matter what way you said like you were overweight in school, people take the piss. But then when you're coming down, people still scrutinise you. And it's not even like where you said you're always saying it about yourself. But it's like you're saying it about yourself, but everybody else does it as well. And but they fucking can't see obviously what's underneath the clothes. But they can now, and I bet you they're fucking impressed by it, even if they don't fucking see it.
Yeah.
And
it's the norm to be fat now. It's the norm to be fat now.
It is completely the norm to be fat. I don't even think fat. Like I think the average size of like has gone up. I don't know, say females, it used to be a 10, but now like the average size is like a 14 or something like that. And like, but now it's just accepted as the norm, even though it isn't the norm of what humans should be. Because even us sitting here, what we actually should be is probably around the 11 stone mark. I mean, we're both there, 5'8", but no, do you know what I mean? Like that's where we should be really sitting, but we do carry mass and stuff like muscle mass now. But in reality, we should be a lot smaller than what we are.
Well, I found out yesterday I could have synced me Garmin up with me life insurance to get.
Could
you get rewards?
Right.
Well, I only found out yesterday, so if I'd been doing that, like I've had my life insurance for 5 years, if I'd had it synced, I would have been getting like, you get money off and stuff. So I put like the details in, put my weight and height in, and it came up with like advice on losing weight. Because I was like 12 stone and 5'9", so it was like saying like how to lose weight.
Fucking hell, man.
That's a life insurance thing.
That's going to probably come under BMR then.
Yeah.
They must use BMR as just the...
Your BMI.
BMI, sorry. Yeah, BMI as the indicator for it, because that is the old indicator.
Well, I looked at my BMI just out of curiosity when I was doing this shred, and it was like borderline overweight still.
It's so outdated, like, isn't it? Right then, last one. So one piece of advice you'd give to somebody to live a lean and healthier lifestyle?
I'd say get a coach.
Right, okay.
I think like that was the turning point. One of the turning points for me was just being coached.
Right.
I think like there's been a few times where I've tried to go on my own, and
right.
I think I've done it for enough time now where I've got the knowledge where I can write a program and stuff. But then like the intensity is not there when I train by myself. Like I've left a couple of times from here and gone and tried to do it on my own, and just like it drops off pretty quick. Like there's no intensity in my training. There's no one to be accountable to. So you just I think like the other gyms I've gone to, like I didn't like the environment. Ultraflex I joined and I wasn't a fan. Like not like a comfortable. I know for some people it's alright, but it wasn't like a comfortable environment for me to train in. I didn't like it, so I just found like excuses to not go.
Right.
Where I was like writing my own programs and things. But I would just find an excuse to not go because I didn't like it. And like so like 4 times a week became 3, then 2, then
right.
But even when I was going, it wasn't the intensity. Like I'd give myself weights I knew I could lift.
Right.
Rather than like upping my weights and like struggling.
So would you say it's the coaching? I mean, because obviously your nutrition knowledge is great as well now. Like obviously you're probably one of the most knowledgeable people in here. So would you say it's the coaching intensity within the session as well?
And the accountability, it's both. It's like obviously like Dan will always make sure I go up on my weights.
Yeah.
Like he'll give us weights I don't think I can lift, and I get them. Like he'll put us on like with the squat and that. Like he'll give us ones I think I'm going to fail and I don't.
Yeah. And the lunge is fucking the heaviest in the.
The only thing I know he gets annoyed with the front squat because I can't do it. So. I think he gave up on trying to coach us on front squats.
Right, okay. Fair dues.
It's like, and just being around the other lads as well, just having like the group sessions, like you sort of not competing with them, but you are a little bit like trying to be the best one in the group kind of thing. And
you've got some good people in your group, to be fair, like Rosh and Mark's in there.
So there's like the intensity in the sessions, but then there's like the checking in as well.
Yeah.
So it's not just like, I think with the shred, like having to check in with you every week. It's knowing like it's your time as well. It's not just my time, it's your time.
Yeah.
You're giving up your weekends and stuff to open the gym up for us to come in and train.
Yeah.
So it's like that sense of letting other people down as well as yourself. Like maybe it's okay with letting myself down. Yeah. Where I've tried to do like cuts in the past. I've managed them in the past, but it's took us longer.
Right.
Like this was the first time I'd done a one, like where I've been coached through it.
Right, and followed it to the end.
Just having that where we have to check in every week.
Yeah.
It's like knowing you're sort of letting other people down if you fail.
Perfect.
And obviously.
Oh shit! Sorry, I thought you finished there. Go for it. Sorry.
And then like with the checking in with Sarah on the app as
Sunday.
well, like
Good.
So you know like how much time you was given up. Like obviously, can't imagine how many.
Well, that's nice to hear. It is because it never gets.
Can't imagine how many check-ins Sarah has to get back to on a Monday morning.
Varies, but it's a lot, and it does take a fucking good few hours for her, especially that app. But
yeah, I'd say get a coach would be my advice.
Mint. Well, thank you very much, John. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.